Hello everyone and welcome to Ferris Sports Update. I'm your host Rob Bentley and thanks for tuning in. On today's show we'll talk Bulldog men's and women's tennis. We'll also check in with the Ferris State women's soccer team here in the spring, and we'll update you on Bulldog softball as they came off a couple home games this past weekend. We'll start first though with Bulldog tennis and joined by head coach Mark Doren. Coach, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks, Rob.
Got to be certainly pleased with where your teams are at here in the middle of conference play, and the men's team at 14-2 and the women not far behind here at 9-5, but both teams right near the top of the conference standing.
Yeah, it's been a great season. I think both teams have performed well and really are playing strong tennis right now.
Obviously, you had a lot of conference action here, and nice to kind of get away this past week. Only one match on the men's side, and it was a non-conference match.
Yeah, you know, an off weekend is not exactly ideal. I personally believe in the middle of a season. You know, you always hear like sports teams where they have that long break between playing the playoffs, and you know, I wanted to keep the rhythm going. Unfortunately, on the women's team, we just had a few too many injuries to perform this weekend, so we had to cancel our match on Sunday. But for the men to get out and play was important. You know, we'd hoped to be outdoors and try to get some practice in outdoors before the rest of our conference season plays outdoors, but the weather just didn't, you know, get there for us. But it was still great to play some matches and keep the rhythm going.
Obviously, as we go, some of the highlights took on Wisconsin Eau Claire, and a team that from a different level, but certainly had a great record, 11-4 overall here on the season.
Yeah, they're a very good Division III school, and that's why we scheduled them. You know, we can look at their ratings and all these different things like my players did and think that it might not have been a good match, but they really brought it. A lot of high-level tennis. You know, I told my team going into the week that their entire team is filled with American players, and I told them that American tennis players are great athletes. I kept telling them that, you know, they have a lot of international players, and I said what's going to happen is they're going to fight. They're going to be quick, they're going to be fast, and they're just going to fight. And right away, you could tell they brought it in doubles, and we had some really tight matches, and they played fantastic. And it was a great day of tennis for us to get out and just keep the rhythm going.
Obviously, you mentioned doubles. I know that's a strong point for you guys and an emphasis. Able to win all three doubles flights to get the first point of the afternoon.
Yeah, and that's what started for us, and that's why they were also good at doubles. In Division III, after three doubles, if they win all three, they're up 3-0. So they also put a strong emphasis on doubles. So that's why they brought it to us, and which is great because we're coming into a weekend coming up that our doubles has to perform well. Obviously,
I know in singles play you've got a veteran lineup and a lot of guys that have played a lot of tennis here over the years in their Bulldog careers.
Yeah, and it really, you know, when we only have 4 courts, you know, it's tough when not everyone's out on the court at the same time. So, you know, our second group of people are a freshman and a senior. But for there to be a senior playing on the court right next to our freshman is huge. He can really, you know, although he's focused on his match, he can really, you know, keep in touch with Alessandro playing next to him and pump him up and keep him motivated.
I know obviously only the men's team playing, but you've had the women's team in action and been to a couple home matches. Obviously a lot of energy from that court one right where the fans sit.
Yeah, it's such a unique experience to have 2 different levels all within a few feet of the court. And coming off a few years where we didn't have fans, to get back to that atmosphere is really neat. A lot of people think tennis is this quiet sport, but our home matches and a lot of high-level college tennis matches are very loud, and it brings so much energy to the players, and it's just a different feel than when you're quiet and playing there. So we've really enjoyed it.
7-0 win, 7th consecutive win, and men's team really drawing some attention now, ranked 19th in the nation this week.
Yeah, and it's awesome to see for them to get back in the national spotlight like this, and then I think they've been there, but to start to get the attention. You know, it helps when our region has been very strong this year. So when our region is strong, we start to get named in the discussion with a lot of the southern schools. So it's awesome, and it's just they've worked very hard the last couple of years, and it's neat for them to start getting the attention.
I know obviously a team sport and an individual sport. You've got a doubles team ranked 11th in the country, and really a reflection of what they've been able to accomplish so far on the season.
Yeah, it's really cool for Matisse and Jan to get that national attention. Right now they're 11 in the country out of like 580 doubles teams. One more spot, and they're in that All-American consideration. And they only have a couple losses on the year. One loss was to the number 7th ranked team in the country, but they also beat the number 3 ranked doubles team in the country. So, I mean, it's really cool. It is a team sport, and those guys don't want to make it all about them, but the team is excited. They want to help their teammates become an All-American, and they want to help them continue to be, the great doubles team they are. So it's been a lot of fun.
Obviously a big weekend coming up, still unbeaten in the conference, but taking on a longtime tennis rival in Northwood, and then Wayne State ranked in the top 20 in the nation as well.
Yeah, it's going to be great tennis. And Northwood is an improved team even from last year. And anytime you throw a rivalry in there, it's going to be a great match. So for the men, that's going to be a lot of fun in high-level tennis. On Saturday, when we play Wayne State. Wayne State's up to number 7 in the country. They've just poured it on this year and are playing great tennis. About 3-4 weeks ago, they beat the number 1 team in the country. So we know we have we have it cut out for us. But all the guys feel really positive and really good about it. On the women's side, we had went so many years without beating Northwood, and we've had a little bit of a streak with them the last 2 years. But they've also improved too. So we feel pretty positive about that. And then headed into Wayne State, they were the dominant team over the last 5 years, and we were able to beat them last year, and hopefully we can continue that momentum and stay healthy. If we can stay healthy and focused, we can win both matches for sure.
Obviously, this weekend not only going to go a long ways towards determining the conference regular season championship, but postseason for the conference tournament, which is just a couple weeks away.
Yeah, it's pretty unique. Both teams have secured a spot in the GLIAC championships, which are nice, and now seeding is important for that. Also, a win or two this weekend could help the women make the NCAA tournament. So there's a lot at stake, but they've accepted that and they're excited for that challenge this weekend. But and for the men, a couple wins this weekend could give us a really high seed and hope to host the first 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament. So that'd be also there's a lot on the line this weekend.
Obviously, as you wind down the regular season here in the next couple weeks, what's it been like in terms of the improvement and the efforts you've seen from your team all year long, really, but especially since the start of the season? Yeah,
I've just been impressed with the effort level. They get after it every day and are ready for whatever is thrown at them. And I think that it's a long season. I know our main season is now, but in the fall, we played some tournaments and we were getting after it and working on a lot of things. And what's really neat is for them to see their own improvement. Sometimes it's hard in an individual sport. You can get pretty upset with yourself when on a single day you're hitting 400 or 500 shots. It's not like baseball when you go 1 for 3, you could be a Hall of Famer. In tennis, you have to be a little bit more patient and understanding that you're going to have a lot of errors. And that's one of the biggest things we focus on is understanding that you're going to have errors. You're going to hit 400 shots, and you might only be able to have 15 errors in a match, but you have to be focused. And they've kind of accepted that idea and that game plan for us, and it's been good.
I know one more women's match left here on the schedule against Saginaw Valley State, and special dedication for former Ferris State head coach and Ed Luck, who unfortunately passed away not too long ago. Maybe talk about what that is going to mean for your program and the Bulldog tennis tradition.
Yeah, April 22nd is a big day for the women's tennis team and just the Ferris tennis in general. Eddie Luck, we lost Eddie Luck this past winter, and was a legendary coach at Ferris. Had a huge impact on the tennis teams as well as the PTM program. And this weekend is also the PTM Banquet weekend. So there are going to be a ton of alumni back in town. A lot of Eddie's ex-players coming in, and we are dedicating Court 1 to Eddie, so there'll be a nice banner on the court, recognizing Eddie and all the success he had here at Ferris. So I think it's just going to be a great weekend, great atmosphere. I know my players are excited. I'm super excited. My freshman year in high school, coming from Cadillac, the first tennis lesson I ever took was from Eddie Luck. So I have a history with Eddie, and so we're excited to have his family, his ex-players in town, and be able to celebrate Eddie for the weekend.
Well, Coach, thanks for the time. Best of luck this weekend as you hit the road for a couple big matches.
Thanks, Rob.
We'll be back with more Ferris Sports Update right after this.